Welcome to the top 10 fighters I believe deserve one way or another to get slept within the next couple of years. I'm hoping by the end of this year, but some don't have fights scheduled, some do, some are still ducking other people. A little bit of foreshadowing there, ladies and gentlemen, but without further ado, let's get into my video now. Little preface before we get into this. Number 10, okay, is the first one I'm going to show here is going to be the least deserving of the 10 fighters I picked. Listen, there's a lot of fighters that deserve to be slept, I believe most of these guys are ranked as I'm checking the list. All of them are ranked. So for this video in particular, it is the ranked fighters. We will not be counting all the ones that deserve to be slept. Whether you dislike or like Torres Finney, things like that. We won't be delving into the unranked bums, all right? We're talking about people of skin in the game, all right? So, without further ado, let's get into number 10. And number 10, the least deserving to get KO'd, slept, slumped out cold, is, in my personal opinion, Khamzat Chimaev. Now, you might be wondering, what did this guy do? I'm not an anti-Khamzat Chimaev, all right? And if you haven't been able to tell already, this video is going to be 100% biased towards my personal opinions on MMA, okay? By the way, it does not include women. Nobody cares about women fights. But why is Khamzat Chimaev number 10? Well, I'll tell you. This guy ruins every fucking event, and he's privileged as fuck. I'll say it. He's privileged as fuck, all right? DDP after beating one middleweight, all right? Who does this guy think he is? I know he had a run at welterweight, but come on. Short notice Kevin Holland. Gilbert Burns took him to a war. Some people, hey, I know people who still argue that Gilbert Burns won that, all right? Beat the Leech, beat GM3. Yeah, it was a fluke KO, but my real problem here is that he kept on missing weight at welterweight, and then the moment he decides to move up to middleweight because the UFC forced him to, he then fights Kamaru Usman on 10 days short notice, and I get it. He wasn't supposed to fight Kamaru Usman. I think it was supposed to be Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa pulled out. But after beating Kamaru Usman in a close decision, similar to the Gilbert Burns, which both of these have not aged very well, okay? Just being honest. Yikes. Middleweight Kamaru Usman's kind of crazy. But the other reason is that he pulled out of the Robert Whittaker fight, I believe, twice, okay? All right? I know once for sure, so we'll keep it on once, okay? But I'll say twice. Really put my fucking thoughts into that one, all right? So, he pulls out of the Robert Whittaker fight, okay? And then he decides to get the Robert Whittaker... Ah, fuck, I just banged my elbow on my table. And then he decides to fight Robert Whittaker again when he hasn't fought a contender, and Robert Whittaker had to fight a contender, beat the contender. I get it, he was like bottom 15, outside of the 15 rankings. Robert Whittaker whooped fucking Ikram Aliskerov's ass, alright? Wasn't even fucking close, okay? Slaughtered him. And then Khamzat just flukes a win, okay? Pushed in his teeth, obviously a fluke. So this guy has fluked not one fight, okay? Got lucky by the decision cards. Not two fights. Got lucky with the Kamaru Usman 10-8 round one, which is bullshit. One of the weakest 10-8s we've seen in the sport. And then he also flukes it with Robert Whittaker. This guy's had 3 flukes in a row at the top level. I've never seen more privilege. And then he gets a title shot. It is time for DDP headbutt KO. That's what I'm calling, baby. Hey, he's the type to do it. Just saying. So, yeah, that's kind of my pick for Khamzat. Getting the number 10th ranking. Realistically, you could have put a lot of people here. You could put like Mario Batista. You could, the fucking canvas is your imagination right now when it comes to the UFC. Who deserves to be slept? Some people don't like Pantoja because he robbed Steve Erceg, according to some fans. So you could have put Pantoja here. There's a lot of names you could have put here, to be fair. But I just thought Khamzat Chimaev was the lowest hanging fruit. Moving on to number 9. Merab Dvalishvili. Okay, I've recently become a fan of Merab. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, he's pretty funny. Alright? I like watching him clown on Umar. Ooh, when he fucking tossed him, fucking started laughing at him. You know, when he stuffed takedowns just by standing, not even using his arms. Brother, you know? Little bit of a boring fucking turd on the mic, I'm not gonna lie. This guy's fucking, you know, this guy's like watching paint dry on the mic. He's fucking terrible at the mic. Arguably the GOAT at bantamweight. Alright, I'm not gonna deny it. Okay? But this guy deserves to be slept, not because people hate him, in my personal opinion. I think he deserves to be slept with how much he's just tempting fate. And his last, like, 3 fights. Yeah, 3 fights. He's been going in injured, you know? I think he talked about an injury during the Henry Cejudo fight. Can't remember, like, what it was specifically. I think it was, like, a leg problem, a knee problem, a hand... He had problems, okay? Then he goes into the Sean O'Malley fight, and he has a cut above his eye. And then he talked about having, like, other health problems during that fight. And then he went into the Umar fight, and apparently he had even worse shit going on in the Umar fight. I think he was on antibiotics, something like that. He was on medication at the time for something. This guy's just fucking tempting fate. And now he's going in with a broken toe to the Sean O'Malley fight, if that fight doesn't get canceled. As of the making of this video, we do not think it is being canceled, okay? And when I say we, I mean me, alright? But, yeah, this guy's just tempting fate. Like, at some point, I think that Merab is currently on PEDs, you know, spots on the back, unlimited cardio, even though he gasses out to Ricky Simone, who's an unranked fucking prospect right now. I say prospect lightly because, you know, he is, like, battle-tested, but he's still kind of young. Gasses out to a fucking 3-round fight with Ricky Simone, and then he's able to just go on a run against some of the greatest fucking bantamweights of all time. A little crazy. But, you know, just saying. Yes, you know, just saying. But it is a little interesting with Merab. He is just, like, testing fate. He's straight up just saying, fuck it, brother. I'm gonna go past my body's limit. Brother, this ain't an anime. You can't do that shit. This is real life, okay? Eventually, your body reaches a limit. Merab's body is gonna reach a limit, okay? You can only go into so many professional fights at the top level fighting the best of the best. With a broken toe. With a cut above your eye. With, like, rib injuries. With your fucking dumbass jumping into an ice pool while it's frozen, an ice lake while it's fucking frozen over, head first. Dumbass. So, I think he's too stupid for his own good, and it's gonna cost him. I think he's gonna get slept. So, I think he deserves it just because of how much he's, like, trying to tempt fate with how dumb he's being. Not necessarily because we hate him, okay? I don't mind Merab. Would I like to see him slept out cold? Maybe, you know? There's always, you know, when you're a fan of MMA, you kind of always want to see someone slept out cold, you know? Just to see it. You know? Just because it could be cool. But, yeah. That's my personal pick for number 9. Another, like, low-hanging fruit. Just because I think he's tempting fate a lot. But, yeah. I don't mind Merab. You know? I think he's got a ginger beard. You know what? We'll half accept him into the ginger community. Okay? Moving on. To number 8. This is where it gets dicey. This is where it might get controversial, boys. Alright? Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare, Usman. Alright, I had to double take and make sure it said Nigerian Nightmare, not just Nightmare, otherwise I might have came off as racist. However, Kamaru Usman does a lot of yapping, and he's been doing a lot of yapping. And my problem with Kamaru Usman, there's 3 main ones. Number 1, record overrated as fuck. Some people consider this guy to be the best welterweight of all time. GSP exists, alright? I know he's Canadian, but unfortunately, you have to accept it. Canadians hold the GOAT in both categories. Male and female, okay? Natural GOATs only, okay? Jon Jones, we don't need ya, alright? And if you're wondering the women's side, I'm talking about Amanda Nunes, claims to be Canadian, I believe, the last time we saw her. I'm gonna stand on that. I'm gonna stand 10 toes down on that, alright? But lost to Leon Edwards twice in a row, who is now, you know, judging by my poll, guys, she's rated as the worst welterweight champion of all time, alright? I don't consider him to be that, but a lot of people, I think, do right now because of how shit on Leon Edwards got in his last couple performances. However, Kamaru Usman's legacy is Colby, Jorge, and Gilbert Burns. All right? I love Gilbert Burns. None of these wins have aged very well, okay? I get it. Only 5 years ago, guys. Only 5 years ago. The name's 5 years ago. But Colby twice, Jorge twice, Gilbert Burns. That's his 5 defenses. Those are shit. Like, I'm sorry. Those are terrible. All right? So people glaze the fuck out of this guy. So I want to see the Kenny Okoyes of the world fucking freak out when they see Kamaru Usman flatlined. All right? That's number 1. Number 2. He is a yapper. He just, like, he'll say dumb shit like, oh, Jon Jones is the Michael Jordan of the sport. Not even fucking close. MMA is a completely different world to the NBA sports. You can't even compare to the two. I don't even know shit about NBA sports. I just know, like, the fans of NBA. I know they know NBA. And I know the Michael Jordan comparison is bullshit. It's not even fucking close. You know? I don't see fucking Jon Jones making the Jones Tank t-shirt, alright, for beating your wife, okay? I don't see any of his merch being launched. But, you know, being sold on shelves for fucking thousands of dollars. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, you know? So, let's not get too carried away with the comparisons with Jon Jones. But the shit he pulled with DDP was kind of wild. When DDP said he wanted to be the first African champ, born and raised, trained from Africa, there was no, I am blacker than you. Kamaru Usman's whole argument during the whole build-up between, I think it was DDP, Robert Whittaker, might have been the fight before then. But the whole, like, thing with Kamaru Usman, he was trying to make it a race deal. Like, what the fuck were we doing in big 2023, I want to say? 2022, maybe? Like, what were we doing? You know? What the fuck did DDP do to you? He just said that he wants to be an African champion who trains from Africa. You know? Trains in Africa of the time of his championship. No offense to Kamaru Usman. I don't see the African flag there. And I never saw the African flag there every time I looked at his shirt, dog, over the course of my 3 to 4 years of watching the UFC, okay? So, yeah, I don't know what the fuck this guy's problem was with my boy DDP. DDP did nothing wrong. He was just trying to say that he born and raised in Africa. What the fuck you trying to hate on my boy for? Okay, so number 1, Kamaru Usman loves to bring race into everything. He's a little bit of a race baiter, if you will. And then number 2, or sorry, wait, we're on number 3 here, okay? Number 3, all right? This guy's podcast with Triple C, a.k.a. The Cringe King, a.k.a. Henry, I can't see, man. I'm seeing double, man. Cejudo, okay? They just yap a lot of the time, and they just make, like, dumb claims a lot of the time, alright? And, you know, I can't really think of any specifics right now, but they're just fucking annoying, okay? Wobblestone, cobblestone knees, Kamaru Usman does do a lot of yapping. He tries to call out Bilal. They had that whole situation with Bilal on the podcast, shit like that, where it was just, like, apparently, Kamaru Usman raged a little bit over Bilal's comments. And then Kamaru Usman's just constantly trying to get a title shot, even though he's done nothing to fucking do it, alright? Or earn it, alright? He's lost 3 times in a row. 2 of them was to the same guy who was champion, okay? Your ass got whooped, okay? In the rematch. In the trilogy, I should say. But the Khamzat Chimaev fight, you also, you know, on paper you did lose, right? So you have, like, this is the UFC, okay? If on paper Volkov lost to Gane, alright? And we have to accept the fact that Ciryl Gane's about to get the next title shot over Volkov, then I'm sorry, Kamaru Usman, you don't get a privilege here. You're not gonna be fighting for the belt on a 3 losing streak. That's not gonna happen, okay? But yeah, it's just annoying as fuck. This guy's constantly yapping, race baiting, I should say. And yeah, just fucking annoying, alright? False legacy, alright? Shitty welterweight. You know, to be fair, pretty good welterweight. As far as other welterweights go. But we all know GSP's the GOAT, so it doesn't even matter. Alright? You'll never be up to his fucking pedigree. Alright there, little bro? Okay? Just saying. Anyways, moving on. Number 7. The dynamic duo, some people say. Henry Cejudo. Okay? Now, why does this guy deserve to get slapped? Well, let me tell you, I can't see, man. I'm seeing double, man. Can't see. Not only is there an endless compilation of clips you can see of Henry Cejudo being cringe as fuck and you just wanting to see him get slept because he's cringe as fuck. Like when he was just like, hey, Precious, how about a tune-up? When he's talking to O'Malley after O'Malley, I think beat, who was it? Was it Peter Yan? I don't think it was Peter Yan. I think it was the fight before that. I can't remember. A little while ago. But basically, Henry Cejudo was, hey, Precious, like he's being cringe as fuck. He gets escorted out because he's a little midget, alright? Comes off a layoff, ruins his entire legacy. You know, after his layoff, 2020, he comes back in 2023, arguably beats Aljamain Sterling, but on paper he lost, and then he loses to Merab after wobbling him with a one hand. And then he quits against Song Yadong. Alright? I'm tired of this shit. Just someone sleep him already. I've seen enough. Vinicius Oliveira, get in there. Flying knee KO. Okay? I've seen enough. But yeah, Henry's just fucking annoying. He's just a little fucking nugget. That's really annoying. He constantly overplays wrestling, you know, talks about wrestling being good, this, that, and the other, coping about wrestling. You know, Daniel Cormier would be on this list if he was an active fighter, but he's not. But Henry Cejudo's like the lower tier of wrestling glazing, like, dumbass bullshit takes, you know? Wrestling is just the most boring pussy shit you can do in the UFC. You could argue BJJ, there's a valid argument. But wrestling, for me, the nut huggers, that's a tier above the BJJ. Because BJJ, at least there's a finish. Wrestling is literally just hugging another man. That's all wrestling is. Oh, I'm on top? Okay, get side control. Chest on chest. You know, like, you know, you really want to get in there on another man, which is really weird. You know? Positions you get in, you know, hugging to the back for the fucking, I don't even know what you call it, but where you like, not seatbelt them, but fucking lock your hand, you know, and then you fucking toss them, and get that WWE shit out of here, okay? Nobody wants to see that. It's boring. It shouldn't work. It shouldn't be scored the way it is. And wrestling just sucks. This guy's a D1 fucking wrestling glazer, okay? If there was a rank system for wrestling, Henry Cejudo would be like, you know, diamond, and then you have Daniel Cormier being fucking champion, okay? But, you know, yeah, it's just, I'm tired of seeing his cope whenever a wrestler loses. They suck. You gotta learn more than wrestling, okay? And then, obviously, he's just cringe as fuck. So, I think he deserves to be slapped. Moving on to my 10, 9, 8, 7, sixth fighter that I've chosen on my list of top 10 who deserve to be slapped. Khalil Rountree, alright? Listen, I like Khalil Rountree, but this is purely because of his fans. There are so many people dick-riding Khalil because of his performance against Pereira on antibiotics with a broken foot, and he was about to pull out due to health complications the day of his fight with Khalil Rountree, by the way, just to mention, literally the weakest version of Alex Pereira. And he got his ass whooped. That's number one. Number two, his best win is fucking Anthony Smith, who is now not even, like, on the roster, okay? He literally retired. That's his best win. Anthony Smith, on short notice, okay? Chris Daukaus, he beat via knee actually, no, that was Modestas Bukauskas. Chris Daukaus, he beat validly, alright? Dustin Jacoby, he robbed them just because he had, I think, one drop near the end. I think round 3, I want to say. Maybe it was round 2. But he dropped Dustin Jacoby, won the round, even though he's getting outlanded the whole time, getting his ass whooped. And then he somehow won another round that the judges gave him. But moving on. Yeah, moving on, okay? Carl Robertson, he beat pretty convincingly. And then Modestas Bukauskas, he illegally fucking knee stomped him and blew out Modestas Bukauskas' knees. Alright? This guy's win streak was fraudulent. People were hyping him up. 5-fight winning streak. 2 of these are arguable, not even, they shouldn't even be real wins. They could have been no contest and then also a draw or whatever. Or a loss, straight up loss, because they wouldn't do a draw in a 3-round fight. But, you know, Chris Daukaus, valid. And then, oh, he beat Anthony Smith, guys. Oh, fuck. You know, I get it. The circumstances around the fight was that they needed someone to show up. Khalil was the guy to show up. But people glaze this guy like he's a 29-year-old young buck who just had a competitive fight with Alex Pereira. Round 1 was a good round for Khalil Rountree. Round 2 was close. Round 3, you could just see Khalil quitting. And round 4, he quit. He had one good round on Pereira. Are we really glazing that? Like, I don't understand. I really don't understand the Khalil fans. You know? Oh, it was a close competitive fight. I knocked him down. Number 1, arguable off balance. Okay. Number 2, Khalil Rountree was fighting the worst Pereira. Alright? If Yair fought that Pereira, he'd probably have fucking success. Okay? He'd probably wobble him. He'd probably knock him down. Alright? But it was different. Yair had to fight like a better Pereira. Yeah, every time, the 2 times, okay? Jamal Hill had to fight a better Pereira, okay? He did get caught, okay? It is what it is. But I want to see this guy get slept just because I want to see his fans mauled. I don't even hate Khalil Rountree. I love Muay Thai. Muay Thai is like my favorite thing to watch, okay? As far as striking goes, you know? Kickboxing, cool. Karate's cool. Muay Thai, number 1 for me. I respect his mindset. But he is a 35-year-old who got dominated by Pereira. He literally got his ass whooped. I've never seen... Like, I get it. It was a liver shot TKO. Oh, you know, whatever. Before that, he covered up. He had nothing. He had nothing left in the tank. And it's the same in every fight. He gets to the 3rd round and he gasses out in almost every fight. Or when he makes it to the 3rd round, I should say. Like with Dustin Jacoby. But he's slow. He's plotty. He throws with everything he's got. Until you get past the 2nd round. He's an unranked. He should be an unranked light heavyweight as far as I'm concerned. So I just want to see him slept so I can see the Kenny Okoyes of the world get fucking mauling. Alright? I just want to see people crash out over him losing. Like, oh no, our king, Khalil Rountree. He wasn't even a prospect anyways. You know, see the cope afterwards. Oh my god. Ooh, I'd be fed for months off that cope. Anyways, moving on to, I believe, my number 5. Okay? Number 5, top 5 UFC fighters I want to see slept, hopefully by the end of the year. Ciryl Gane, okay? A little bit of out of left field, but what he did to my boy Volkov was kind of bullshit. I thought Ciryl Gane clearly lost the Volkov fight. I don't think there's an argument to even suggest that Ciryl Gane won two of those 3 rounds. And I think Volkov clearly won 2 rounds, and you could arguably give him all 3. I said it. And other than that, another fraudulent record in the top level. Loses to Ngannou. And guys, he fought Jon Jones. Guess who he beat to fight Jon Jones? Tai Tuivasa. This guy's on, how many losing streak? This guy's lost how many times? Hold on, it's loading. Hold on, it's loading. We're loading. We're loading. Okay, I don't think it's gonna fucking load. But regardless. Oh, here we go. Whoa, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A 5-fight losing streak, guys. Wow. What a great contender he beat to end up fighting Jon Jones, guys. Wow. You know? And then he beat Sergey Spivak. You know, pretty good performance by him. And then he clearly lost to Alexander Volkov. I don't understand how he won that fight. His whole team left the arena before they announced the decision. He said he broke his toe in the early rounds. Yeah. Volkov broke your toe, lil bro. That's how that works. If you throw a punch and your hand breaks on his forehead, even if he guards it or not, he broke your hand in that fight. That's how it works, okay? So, I don't give a fuck the cope from any of the the Ciryl Gane fans. Nothing will convince me that Ciryl Gane won this fight. And Ciryl Gane, it was rumored to be him getting the next fucking title shot against Tom Aspinall, because we all know Jon Jones isn't going to fucking fight. So, Tom Aspinall is the current heavyweight champion as far as I'm concerned. And Ciryl Gane was set to face him. Number 1, I think he gets slept by Tom Aspinall. Number 2, he doesn't deserve it. And number 3, I just want to see this guy slept because of how fraudulent his whole fucking career's been. And he tapped in the most weak way I've ever seen a human being to Jon Jones. Literally got uncomfortable and he just fucking tapped. Get me out. Oh, ref, get me out. Get me out. You know, that's exactly how he taps. Get the fuck out of here, man. Pissing me off. Moving on, okay? Number 4. Now, this one is a personal one, okay? Someone who's disrespected one of my favorite fighters, okay? And that is Arman Tsarukyan. Not only is he a bitch posh boy, okay? Insult taken straight from Paddy Pimblett. But he's a bitch posh boy who pulled out literally within 24 hours on his fucking title fight because of a back injury. Even though he was doing fucking spins on his back the day before. Sure, bud. You know, even though that happened, arguably lost to Charles Oliveira. I mean, if you watch that back, it is fucking close. And the things he does makes him look like he's losing. Okay? Fluke went over Benil. You know, got wobbled pretty bad by Joaquim Silva. You know, lost to Gamrot, guys. No, I'm kidding. That's not really a reason. But after, you know, not after, I should say before the Benil fight, or was it during? I think it was during the Benil fight. I might have been after now that I'm thinking about it. I think it was after the Benil fight. He was yapping all this shit about Bobby Green. All right, Bobby Green just got set by Jalen Turner for context at the time, and that was one of the worst stoppages of all time. I think we can all agree. You know, rest in peace to the king. His chin was never the same. And Arman Tsarukyan's yapping. Oh, I would pay money to see it again, brother. Watching his head bounce off get this again and again. Oh yes, brother. We do not take Bobby Green slander, okay? In my vicinity, alright, motherfucker? Okay? The only time you can shit talk Bobby Green is in the build up to the fight. And listen here, you little posh boy, alright? It doesn't make it fucking better that you decided to start beef with him in the back room, okay? Like, are we serious? Look at this, alright? Look at how negative aura this is. This guy rolls up with his whole squad. Bobby Green, I think, waiting for an elevator or whatever fucking door this is. Maybe it's his own room. I don't know. Bobby Green chilling, aura farming. You know, he got the fucking the rings. He got the phone. He blinged out. You know, got aura type shit. Just fucking waiting, doing his due diligence before the fight. And this guy rolls up with his whole fucking team. Like, are we serious? Number one, Bobby Green's not like. Listen, he might have been ranked for a time, okay? But unfortunately, he's not really a ranked skill level fighter at this point in his career. But even during this Jalen Turner fight, okay, this is like showing up, not only threatening to beat up a nerd, okay? But this time the nerd has aura, okay? But you roll up with a bunch of other jocks trying to, like, threaten this nerd. Why? It's just overkill. It's cringe. You know? This guy's got his whole team. Look at this motherfucker. Alright? This guy looks like he's about to fucking kill Bobby Green. What did he do to you, bro? It's not his fault he gets more pussy than you. Alright? Leave my man alone. Okay? He did nothing wrong. You know? And this guy gets all up in his face and shit. You know? I don't know what the fuck this guy's doing. I don't know what this fucking Mark Wahlberg fucking looking at is doing over here. Alright? But, yeah, this guy's got a whole fucking team with him. He's got a fucking Thing 1 over here looking like he's about to fucking eat Bobby Green alive for some reason. Literally because, hey, you know, I'm not one to, you know, point fingers at race baiting, you know, or anything. But, you know, I'm just saying, you know, one of these is not like the other. Okay? But I don't know what the fuck he's looking at. Alright? You ain't even I don't even know you, little bro, okay? Don't even walk up to the king like that, okay? And then look at this motherfucker, alright? And enjoy the, you know, subtitles here. I don't know how this fucking website works. I don't use social media, so, yeah. Shout out to, I think this guy's Twitter handle is AJ. I saw it as the first post, so therefore I'm using it, and therefore I'm shouting out the homie, okay? Don't know him. Maybe he's racist. I don't know. But this is where the clip's from. And yeah, bro, look at how many. This guy's literally got a whole Ultimate Fighter fucking team behind him. Like, what is this, man? And then this old fuck, gray-haired looking ass, alright? Bobby Green might be old, but at least he's not fucking turning gray on the beard, okay? And look at Bobby Green. Look at the fucking skull of Numsakwe, or however you pronounce it, from Indiana Jones. Look at his built head ass, alright? He's ready to take on all these motherfuckers, alright? Megamind ready to lay pipe on all these motherfuckers, alright? And I don't mean dick when I say pipe, okay? Look, bro. Anyways, just pissing me off. Just fucking straight up pissing me off. The fact that Arman Tsarukyan did that. So he got on my shit list right after that. And then number 2, yeah, just gifted wins. I hate gifted wins. That's a trend you'll see and why I think they deserve to get slept. So I just want to see Arman Tsarukyan's head bounced on the canvas a couple times. Yeah, I think it's warranted, okay? A little more than the other ones, but that's my personal opinion. Now moving on to the top 3. Now the top 3, I think, are going to be kind of clear. You know, I think most people would agree with me in terms of the people getting slept on this list. Number 3, Yair Rodriguez. This guy is yapping. It seems like they might actually do. I hate this is even a rumor, and this should never have even been a fucking rumor. And if this fight is made, there's going to be a million videos made by other YouTubers on the downfall of UFC matchmaking. Because it's rumored that Yair Rodriguez is getting a title shot off of a debut Patrice Ferreira. I thought it was I can't even pronounce that. I can't pronounce these fucking names. I'm sorry. You know, Patrice Pitbull, a guy from a different organization who's 38 years old, makes his debut and dropped Yair, and I think Yair almost triangled him, if I'm remembering correctly, or it was the other way around. I can't even remember. That fight was boring as fuck. It was shit, you know? Yair looked like ass. He looked in the best shape he's ever looked. I'll give him that. But he looked the same in terms of open on the feet constantly, you know, wild, but not really enough steam to, like, complement the wildness of his striking. Like, it looked like shit, just being honest. Loses to the layup in Brian Ortega when Brian Ortega rolled his ankle in the octagon. Heavy favorite against Brian Ortega before they even get into the octagon. And the momentum is supposed to be like, this is the Yair Rodriguez era. Brian Ortega off a long layoff, injuries, all this other shit. You know, I'm like an eagle. I gotta go to the cave and smash my beak so I can get a new beak and become a stronger eagle to contend with these young eagles. Whatever the fucking quote was. Dumb as shit. Triangle Josh Emmett. Great win. I loved that fight, actually. But, you know, quit against Max Holloway. Or was it a quit? It was a weird situation. It was a lot of yapping, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. A lot of he's not happy about how the fight went, basically. But yeah, he's just yapping about getting a title shot. And now it's set that he might actually get the title shot when he did all that yapping with Diego Lopez in the last press conference they had. With Diego Lopez, Alexander Volkanovski, that main event. And now they're going to do Yair too. Why? He hasn't fucking earned it. Bullshit. I tell ya, bullshit. Alright? Rumor is they're going to Mexico. They need a Mexican fighter main event. So they're having fucking Yair Rodriguez. That's got to be the most, like, privileged country shit I've ever seen, you know? If I join the UFC right now, can I get a fucking title shot because I'm Canadian and we got no ranked fucking Canadians? Amin Zahabi does not count, okay? I don't care how Canadian his name sounds, okay, guys? Alright? I'm talking about real Canadians over here, alright? But, the colonizing ones, just saying. Anyways. Yeah, it's just, this privileged bitch I want to see slept. Like, I want to see Volkanovski sleep him. If he fought Lopez, I want to see Lopez sleep him. I want this motherfucker to get slept out cold for his just, like, privileged attitude and his garbage, like, performances. Like, I hate fighters that are in this top level and they just get away with, like, 2 losses, oh, and then a win. 2 losses, and then a win, you know? 2 losses looking like shit, and then a win, you know? Like a fluke win that fucking his opponent was being stupid with, like the Josh Emmett one, you know? Like, just gifted win with fucking Patricio Pitbull. 38-year-old man, end of his career, you know? Like, fuck, man. Fucking annoying. Anyways, Yair Rodriguez, number 3. Fucking hate this guy. I just want to see him slumped out cold. Moving on. Now, the top 2 spots are hard. I'm not going to lie. You could swap these any day of the week, let me tell you. You know, in moments, I probably swapped them. But number 2 for me, Ian the Cuck Garry. I want to see this little peahead bounce off the canvas. Not because he's a cuck. Not only because he's a cuck. Not because we don't know who the father is. Thank you, JDM, for, you know, bringing that to light. But another one of these gifted win guys, you know? The Jeff Neal fight was arguably, like, Jeff Neal is a split decision. It was very close. MVP, similar situation. You know, upon rewatching, I get why Ian Garry won the last round. But, like, it's just one of these... Like, he pulls guard in round 2 and ends up on bottom and gets outlanded. And then he yaps that, oh, I saw his eyes roll in the back of his head in round 2. You didn't land a punch, little bro. I'm sorry, you didn't. You know? Like, there's delusion, but there's just, like, unnecessary delusion. You know? Like, Ian Garry is, like... I don't want to make comparisons because I'm not political. So we're going to stay away from that. But, you know... No, I'm not even going to step... I'm not even going to step into those can of worms. But Ian Garry... Basically, 10-toesing down on business that is very not true, we'll say, okay? You know, to keep politics out of this, because I don't give a fuck about politics, but, yeah, his Neil Magny fight, he literally was wearing, I can't remember if it was Jeff Neal or Neil Magny, but he was wearing, like, a mugshot of one of them, and not build up to the fight, but a few fights ago, he's literally wearing their mugshot on the shirt. I think it was Jeff Neal, but it could have been Neil Magny. In the Neil Magny fight, he caused Neil Magny to have fucking not CPS. What's it called? It might have been CPS. They caused like some sort of dispute with the court system and how Neil Magny has custody over his kid. And I think he was brought to court because of a lot of shit. Ian Garry saying, "Oh, it was the fucking oh, I'm gonna whoop your ass, you know, like a son being disciplined or something like that, you know." And then Ian Garry tried to imply that he beats his kid. Okay, there's shit talk, all right, but like, there's going too far, okay? 7 layers of hair is a little too far, all right. And I think that was a case where it was just too far. I think that was bullshit. I don't think that shouldn't have been mentioned. You know, call me soy. At the end of the day, I am born in Canada. Maybe it's Canada just rubbing off on me, but I do think it's bullshit. Like, I don't think you should be allowed to say that shit and not get slept, okay? In one of these fights. Shavkat fight. Shavkat 100% finish rate. Couldn't finish the cuck. So it just makes it even more tantalizing imagining Ian Garry slumped out cold. Ian Garry had this fucking 9-step plan where he was going to become champ, defend against Islam because he thinks Islam and him are the best fucking young generation fighters there are. You know, vegan as well. Like, need I say less? You know, need I say any more about Ian Garry and just why we want to see him fucking slept out cold? The optics of his fight against Carlos Prates, goddamn. Let's just Jamie, pull up the clip. All right, let's get this clip up here. Carlos versus Ian Garry. Let's just see the last couple minutes here. Yappity yap yap. That's the decision. A lot of people yapping. Yappity yap yap. Am I really gonna have to? Oh, here we go. Yeah. Don't want to get copyrighted, so we're not gonna play too much of that. But yeah, I mean, I just want to see this guy get slumped out cold. He's been at every moment, like we're about to see it, or like it's time for him to get slept. Jeff Neal, hard hitter, you know, MVP, best distance manager, one of the most dynamic strikers there is, you know. Every time we get that, like, moment, even the Carlos Prates, I got right. I picked Ian Garry against Carlos Prates, but I still want to see Ian Garry slept out cold by Carlos, all right? I just want to see Ian Garry fucking slumped, okay? I just want to see Lyoto Machida style Jon Jones, where he's just a corpse on the canvas, okay? I just want to see a corpse of Ian Garry. Is that so bad? Is that so wrong? Inside the cage, I want that to be clear, and I want no one to take me out of context, okay? Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, moving on to number 1. The most deserving fighter to get slapped, hopefully by the end of the year, but unfortunately he has not been booked, and we know him. We hate him. Jon Bones Jones. All right. So anyone who knows MMA, I think you all know why I want him to be slapped. I think we all know why we want to see him slapped, okay? But let's just get into it, all right? Uno, or fucking problem, uno one, okay? Uno one. He's a wife beater, okay? Beat the shit out of his wife. Bloodied. Kids had to call the cops. There's a police report. You can say, it's alleged. There's a police report of it literally happening. Okay? That's number 1. Number 2. He hit a pregnant woman at night and drove off. I've literally seen people cope and say, well, in the defense of Jon Jones, he didn't know she was pregnant, okay? While he was high off coke. That's number 2. Reason number 3, okay? Most PED pops in MMA history, I want to say, or UFC history, we'll say. You know? So he can't be considered the GOAT. He's cheated one too many times. I don't give a fuck if it was a pictogram. You're a cheater. Cheater, cheater, pumpkin eater, okay? Let me just put it into gaming terms, okay? Let's say someone in CSGO had a little bit of aim assist on PC. That's still cheating. You still get banned. Am I wrong? Let's say it was Rainbow Six Siege, you know? And you just had a little bit of the cheat that allows you to instant fire whenever your crosshair's on an enemy. Just a little bit, you know? Only fires one shot, you know? It doesn't fire the mag, but it fires the shot. That's still cheating, you know? Let's say you can only see one of the 5 opponents through walls. That's still cheating. I'm sorry. No matter how large you cheat, it doesn't matter if this guy fucking took a sledgehammer under the octagon and hit over fucking Daniel Cormier's head. He popped for pictograms he popped for PEDs in the Daniel Cormier fight, after the Daniel Cormier fight, which caused him to get stripped and suspended, and during the Gustafsson, I believe, first fight. He was also on roids. Also had the testosterone levels of a castrated male. Thank you, more plays, more dates. You don't have children with testosterone levels of 0. That's not how that works, okay? And if you're maybe lost because you're so high on the copium that Jon Jones, he didn't really cheat. The testosterone argument is because if you have 0 testosterone, but you have children, that means you at one point had a large amount of testosterone. Now, where did that large amount of testosterone come from? Well, it obviously came from a performance-enhancing drug. Now, when you take a performance-enhancing drug to increase your testosterone levels above the legal limit for the UFC fights, you then have to take something to remove your testosterone levels for the legal limit. It's that simple. So he was clearly like, it's like the IV bag arguments for Islam Makhachev. All right, I don't think Islam cheated. Okay, but I wouldn't be surprised if it came out that he was on performance-enhancing drugs. You know. But a guy like Jon Jones, he is on performance-enhancing drugs. He is annoying as fuck. He is harassing gay men at comedian shows, sticking his finger in their pants and getting drunk and raged. Who's seen that video? Hey, hands up. Fuck, man. Sorry. I can't say that when Jon Jones is on the screen. We know why. Anyways, never beating those allegations, by the way. Now he's in Thailand sipping water from a coconut and fucking hanging out with ladyboys, it's just cringe, It's almost like if you had Henry Cejudo, but if Henry Cejudo was also a wife beater, hit pregnant women with his car, always on coke, getting arrested all the time, but because he's Christian and he says a Bible verse here and there, woo guys, he's the GOAT, he's forgiven of all sins. Sorry, that's not how life works in my book, okay? I don't give a fuck what book you read, alright? I go by my book, okay? And in my book, it don't fly, okay? So, you can read your book, I can read my book, alright? But, with all that being said, this has been my list of all the fighters I want to see slumped out cold, slept, slumbered, corpse made in the canvas, however you want to fucking describe it. And Jon Jones is by far number 1. Garry number 2. Yair Rodriguez number 3. Arman Tsarukyan number 4. Ciryl Gane number 5. Khalil number 6. Henry and Kamaru Usman 7 and 8. Merab 9, and Khamzat Chimaev number 10. Alright? This is purely based on my own instinct as an MMA fan and my own opinions. However, you're free to come up with your own opinion of who should be slumped out cold, who you want to see slumped out the most, and if there's a name I missed, hey, feel free to comment it down below. Alright? You know, feel free to put down whatever fighter you want to see slumped out cold, maybe a name I missed. But with all that being said, I want to thank you for making it all the way to this very long video. And as always, I hope you have a good day.